This will be our Koji cured copa steak video. Pat is going to be breaking this hog down. This is actually going to be the last video Pat appears in, very sadly. We wish him well back to Portland. But you've seen us break down a hog before. Take the legs off, take the shoulder off, take the middle and ham apart. First thing he did was take all the fat out of the cavity. But as we take a closer look at the shoulder here, we're going to kind of try to identify the copa, or it's essentially the extended loin muscle all the way out to the neck. We're kind of looking at a cross section right there of the shoulder, and you can see kind of where it almost looks like a pork chop or a ribeye, and then it extends up to the neck, kind of going up where the kind of left hand is at the top of the screen. That's kind of the head area. So we're going to try to isolate this muscle, take out this muscle as a whole. We're going to cure it in Koji, which is a fungus that grows on rice, Aspergillus oryzae, and it will essentially convert the starches in the meat to sugars, and it will help tenderize, caramelize, season the meat. So the previous piece you can see was the kind of arm picnic. It also has the pork brisket on it, and now Pat is trying to take this. It's not necessarily a Boston butt, it still has the bones in it, but trying to isolate this copa muscle. He's trying to go under those feather bones and then try to go kind of right where it meets the fat cap, trying to isolate this big muscle. It is a little difficult to get in there and kind of behind those bones, underneath, all while not trying to cut too deeply into that whole muscle, whole grouping of muscles, into that cut of meat. But he's a pro and he did it. Look at that. Two beautiful looking copas off of a couple pretty big hogs. We are now going to cut these up into steaks. They just cook a little bit better, a little bit faster in this time. We want to be able to put them on in the morning and finish them before service. Put them on around 5 or 6 o'clock, finish them around 10 for service. So we're going to cut them into about 2.5 to 3 inch thick steaks. You can see that grouping of muscles, all of the marbling inside. They're going to be fantastic. So now we're going to weigh them out and put a percentage of Koji on them and rub it all in. It is going to be kind of a goopy, it's like rice and all this fungus that's grown on the rice kind of comes in this pouch. It looks really goopy, kind of gross, kind of sticky, but just rub it all in there. If you taste it, it tastes it tastes like rice. It tastes really salty, and it almost tastes like sake a little bit, which makes sense. I mean, all those things are rice. A little bit more Koji on here. You can see there's a pretty good amount on there, and he at first was putting a little bit less, and then kind of as he was developing this recipe, he was going more and more and more, and toward the end I think he's putting like 15% of the total weight of the piece of meat in Koji on there, and I think that is to season it, and then also it will tenderize it. The seasoning is going to sit on these for about 4 days. This is Tuesday, so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We cook them Sunday. Cure for 4 days. The walk-in, just like that, covered in Koji. And now Pat is gonna make a mop.
Butter, half a cup of meat sauce, is a tablespoon of cayenne, garlic paprika, juice of 2 oranges for a half Miller Lite, and then a heavy splash white vinegar.
Melt the butter down. Throw in our spices. Kill the heat. Barbecue sauce. Juice of a few oranges. And then our beer, white vinegar. Let's mop. A few days later, or at the food truck, it's about 6 in the morning. nice and quiet. Some of the most peaceful time working at LeRoy and Lewis. We got Kevin opening today. He's gonna season these pretty much just like a burger. We need full coverage, coating on all sides, Dalmatian rub, gonna develop that nice bark. We're gonna cook these offset up pretty close to the fire, mop them a little bit, take them to about 160, 165, and then just let them rest. Slice it to order. They get sliced pretty thin. Nice and easy to cut a 1/4 pound slice off of them. This method, this preparation really has legs. I think we're gonna try it on a few different things. Certainly a pork chop, probably some chicken. Who knows?
What's happening, buddy? Ooh. Like 4 hours deep. Looking nice and barky, though. How many burgers you got cooking today?
48.
48. That's a lot of Meatball Mountain right there. I consider this one of my greatest failures in life. Trying to start a new sticker wall in barbecue, but then it got parked on the backside and now no one sees it. So if you ever come to LeRoy and Lewis, throw a sticker on the back for me. Have you had the Coppa before?
Mm-hmm.
Is it good?
It's pretty dang good. Yeah.
What are you doing here?
Oh, you know.
Your word.
Oh,
No, I just came to get coffee.
Okay.
Pat, tell me about this pork.
It's a copa we pulled out of the shoulder.
Is that the money muscle?
I think so. Is it? We cured it in Koji for 5 days and then smoked it on the offset today. Seasoned it like we season our burgers. So it's just heavy seasoning. And then we mopped it with a little mop sauce that we made.
Ooh, look at that render.
Pretty fucking good. Yeah, it came out pretty nice. See how they taste.
Thank you, Daddy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
You like that?
Perfectly salted.
Yeah.
So
well,
good.
you take your thing.
The only thing that could have made this better is a ham brine.
Oh, really good.
That's really good.
Yeah, that's a winner.
Outside's nice, barky, pepper.
What went into the mop sauce?
Honestly, Brad, I modeled it after your mop sauce. Changed a little bit, so it was 16 ounces of butter, half can of beer. I used beet sauce. Instead of lemons, I did oranges. And then we actually put the Shio Koji, which we cured the copas in the mop sauce as well. And then it's a tablespoon of paprika, cayenne, and garlic.
Nice.
So it's a spicier.
Yeah, that's good as hell.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I think the heavier Koji was a good idea.
No, go ahead.
Yeah.
It's super tender.
What do you think, Travis?
Kind of sweet too.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so good.
That'd make a hell of a pork steak.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, Koji cured pork steak would probably be a good idea.
Why did y'all not do it on the direct? What was the reasoning again?
Well, when we were testing them out, it just seemed like that direct flavor kind of overpowered everything else.
Yeah.
Actually, that bite I got was kind of spicy, which
Yeah, that one was.
that's kind of what I was hoping for.
You know, that burn end with all the
Yeah,
all the goodness.
pepper and shit. And yeah, and then we'd taken them to like 160.
Yeah.
So just
Slice
because
them
they
up.
have so much fat in them, when we're doing them lower, it just like didn't render well and it was kind of chewy. And then past that, it just dried out a little bit.
Yeah.
So like that seemed to be a good sweet spot.
Travis, are you first in line?
They are.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes it better.
I saw them standing there when we got here. Like, I can't do that.
You know you can just go in there, right?
We're testing out some
All right, Pat. What's the next thing you're gonna Koji-ify?
I honestly have a pork chop back at the commissary right now that I wrote Coach Yell over that I was going to cook us for lunch. That's where I got the idea from, too. I was in Portland and I went to Ruthie's, which is this awesome wood-fired food truck, and I had a pork chop there that like kind of blew me away. And I asked them about it, and they the ones that got me on the whole Koji thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I've heard of some people using it for like fried chicken too.
Really?
So Koji
Well, 'cause it
chicken might be kind of
turns,
cool.
The starches and meat into sugars,
Yeah.
and then it tenderizes them. So it's pretty common in Japan to like rub a steak down in Koji,
Yeah.
and they'll just let it sit for 30 minutes. But the guys that brewed these were the ones that said the longer you let it sit, the better it gets. But like 4 or 5 days, it kind of tops out. After that, it doesn't really seem to
Diminishing
make too
returns.
big of an.
When's Koji sausage coming?
I don't think it will work. I think it would make the meat all mushy.
Yeah, probably.
Because it's
Now,
fermented.
what we'll do next is Koji ham brine cheesecakes.
For sure. Here's gonna be the 2 meat plates with the beef cheek and the brisket for you guys. And then we have the burger, the bok choy, and the copa still coming for you.